When Fergus fucks it up.
Hello, good evening. You can get what's going on in the background. Welcome to Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Trevor's giving me shit already. We don't care. We beat Spurs 4-1. We're going to talk about that. We'll touch on Wolves. We're just going to have a party. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome, Trevor. Trevor, I've just been trying to get it all working on Twitter. We are now transmitting on my Twitter. So if anybody's out there, because Hilsy's building up his followers again, if you are watching us on Twitter, please repost the show, or even better, just go across to YouTube and subscribe. Trevor, what a day we had yesterday. The bits we can remember, at least.
Fergus, I think I must have had something dodgy to eat, mate, because I've not felt well all day. I think I must have had a dodgy fish finger or a sausage roll from Greg's or something, because, yeah, I'm not up to it tonight. I'm really struggling today, mate. Really struggling.
You know what? I had copious amounts of booze, but I'm surprisingly okay. I really am doing all right.
Yeah, I went a bit mad. I've not been drunk loads and loads in ages, and I ended up in the Woodbine drinking on my own last night late on.
Yeah,
just me and the gaffer in there. It was busy in there actually. I just sat in the corner laughing at crap on my phone from Tottenham fans, slowly getting absolutely battered drunk.
I was tempted to go back with you, but to be honest, I had an earlier start than you. I was in the said pub from 11 in the morning, and it was one of those ones, just when it goes really wonky. The Guinness was really flowing really, really well. And then there was baby Guinnesses, because the big Guinnesses were a bit too much after a while. But then the baby Guinnesses came alongside with big Guinnesses. And then I had to go on to Jameson's as well. So it really, it was, mate. It was very much an Irish celebration in the Woodbine.
the Guinness in the Woodbine last night after the game was exceptional, I must say.
It was.
Absolutely exceptional pint of Guinness. Sam's in the house. How you doing, Sam? I hope you feel as bad as I do, son, because it was a big, long day, wasn't it?
This Sam.
Yeah. Sam, if you've seen it on the telly, people, and you've seen it all over social media, Sam's our good friend. Sam's our good friend who had the Thomas Frank in an Arsenal kit doll made up that went viral on the TV, on social media. Brilliant work, Sam. Love it, mate. Love it. I'm not going to go into it any further than that. No, I'm not going to say anything else.
Sam, I just think the next time you need to get some weight, like you get those stand-up sort of ones, get some weight in it, and then it can have a bigger impact. Sam will know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Ferg, before we go any further, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's helped me out after my Twitter X got hacked last week, and it's taken on a completely different guise now, and you wouldn't even know it was me, apart from the friends are slowly dropping off because people are blocking it and reporting it. Started up again. My new handle will be at the bottom of my screen when Fergus takes that banner off. Yes, thank you. And thank you for all your help and the people that have followed me already. And I see Simon Lester's in the house as well. Simon suffered a similar fate this week. So if you can get across to follow Simon as well, that'd be wonderful.
Simon tried to catch me out, but thankfully, because I'd listened to you, I got the exact same message come from when Simon was taking over. I got the message from Simon's old account to click on a link. Do not click on a link and vote for anybody. Do not click on a link.
No, do not. If you get any links from any accounts, even if you think they're your mates, don't click on them. It's not worth the hassle. It took me a long time to build up that account. 16,000 followers. I loved my interactions with everybody. And now I've got to start again. And yeah, I'm a bit gutted, but thank you for everyone that helped. This is my mate Dino. He's a Man United fan. I hope you get thrashed tonight, Dino, by the way. I told him today, I don't know what's happened, right? Sometime during the goal celebrations for yesterday, of which there were many, I've somehow managed to do something to my knee. My knee's like a balloon today. I can hardly walk. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting too old for this, Fergus. I really am.
I think you'd done it before the game, because I remember asking you to go to the bar and you went, "No, I got a broken leg. I broke my leg somewhere," and I had to go to the bar. And then eventually, after the sedative of more alcohol got in, you weren't able to get to the bar and buy a round of drinks.
I thought he was hurting a bit before the game. Maybe I just aggravated it more. But yeah, right mess. Here's Ronnie, our good friend Ronnie. Hope you're feeling better, mate. Where is Bad Ronnie? Be very interesting. I will be very surprised if we see Bad Ronnie tonight, Ferg. Bad
Ronnie's probably on Sheffield United's or Sheffield Wednesday's podcast right now, because he's scoping out the competition for next season.
Oh, wow. Do you know, hey, listen, Tottenham could be away at Lincoln City next year up near me, because Lincoln look like they're going to come up. So, yeah, I might go over to Lincoln and cheer Lincoln on against them next year, because they've got lucky yesterday, Ferg. If Forest don't give away a last-minute goal, Forest are above them, I think, you know, and this season is getting too excited. But Ferg, come on. I mean, we could talk all day about yesterday at the Lane, right? And what a great day we had. But what a way to bounce back, mate, after the debacle. And it was a debacle.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
What a way to bounce back, Ferg.
Yeah, listen, like the Wolves game, it was horrible up there. It was cold, it was wet, it was midweek. The hotel was crap, but we won't go into that one. I won't know about it anymore.
You fussy gits.
I didn't sleep all night because I was lying on the bed. I described the mattress I slept in Red Wings Hotel, that if I had found a mattress by a skip that had been out there for 6 weeks, infested by rats, and put it on that bed and lay down and had to sleep on it, I would have had a better night's sleep than the night's sleep I had in there. So anyway, let's talk about the game. The game I thought was really good. Saka scoring early on in the first 5 minutes, and ended a 15-goal drought for him. So, which was really, really important. He came up in front of us and done the old signing the contract goal celebration. Really, really good. And then Hincapié gets a second, which went to VAR. So I really thought, I thought in the first half we'd probably have 3 goals, the way Wolves looked so poor in that first half. Second half, Hincapié comes on and gets the first goal for us. 2-0, job done, I thought.
Yeah. I thought it was just going to be a matter of how many we were going to win by, Ferg.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and don't get me wrong, I think after watching yesterday, Wolves are probably at the moment playing better than Spurs, in fairness to Wolves.
They're more organised.
Because that yesterday was the worst Tottenham team I think I've ever seen in my 60-odd years. I mean, they were terrible. They were terrible. Even when they equalised, I knew we'd beat them. You know, we had 80-odd% possession. It was like amazing. But the Wolves game, been trying to put some reason on it, Fergan, and I don't think you can really. You know, I mean, I had my little bit to say on social media, and everyone else did. I went about it, you know, in a sensible sort of manner, I hope, unlike a few other people who just thought the world had caved in because we drew at Wolves. But one thing I did think, Ferg, was our players, they're used to playing on the perfect pitch every week, aren't they? I know people have been saying the carpet at the Emirates has been looking a bit bare recently, but it's not cold. It's never soaking wet through. And that pitch at Wolves, the ball was starting to hold up. It had that much rain on it. It was freezing cold, sleet, snow, hail. Would that have affected our players' performance, mate?
I think it did, but look, both teams have to play on the same pitch. Wolves will be more used to playing on the pitch than us. It was raining, but Wolves also put extra water on the pitch at our end. And down at, like, I was block 2, I think. I was block 9 down at the far end where we were playing, where we were defending in the second half. And they watered that pitch really heavily before the game. Then it rained, and then it was listen, it was horrible standing there as a fan in the stands. It was cold, it was wet. The wind comes in the gaps of that place. And I looked at the players and I thought to myself, well, they're used to it, but I wouldn't have fancied standing out there in a pair of shorts and a T-shirt with. And we've had this in the game recently as well. I think it was Forest away, where it was cold and wet and so on. You just think, like, Christ, it's February. It must be absolutely freezing. But listen, credit where credit is due. Bueno's strike for their goal that they got, the first goal they got back, was an excellent strike.
Yeah,
but we gave him so much space, Trev.
Yeah, we just didn't play, and the last 20 minutes or so, it looked like we were treading water for me. A few of our players, I think Jury and Timber in particular, seemed to be really struggling energy wise, and I wasn't surprised to see him go off after 57 minutes last night, mate. To be honest, because I think Arteta probably noticed that and thought, we'll give him an hour and see how it goes against Tottenham. And I was glad we played Timber against Tottenham because, he's probably. I watched the game back today, and Gary Neville, God, he does my head in. But I've got a commentary on because I'm watching it on playback. I'm not saying how, but I did. And Gary Neville said that Timber's probably the best right back in the country at the moment. And I nearly fell off my chair and hurt me poorly leg because I agreed with Gary Neville for once, which is very unusual for me, Ferg.
Yeah, you know what? I just think we've done this quite a few times in games. We didn't do it yesterday, thankfully. But when we take Gyökeres off, we've commented on before. But in the last 20 minutes or so, the very pragmatic approach, very cautious approach. We're happy to hold on to a 1-0, and that's where we got caught out again recently. We're 2-1 up against Wolves. We underestimate these teams, their desire to try and actually save a bit of face, prove themselves, because yes, they're preparing for the championship, but prove themselves to the manager, who's going to probably be the manager in the championship. And even it's unlikely Wolves are going to turn around, but they've still got a third of a season. But we just seem to sit back an awful lot and invite the pressure on for the last 20 minutes. And they brought on in Dozy. He's a 19-year-old. He made his senior debut as a substitute. And on the 94th minute, he went in. I don't have any stills or any pictures for this game because we didn't really prep for it, because we weren't going to talk hugely about it because why. But he put a ball in, and from an error between Gabriel and Raya, two excellent players who rarely put a foot wrong. Raya sometimes does have a little bit of a wobble on occasionally, but Jesus Christ, that's been hyper critical of one of the best keepers in the league. And Gabriel and Saliba as a pairing are probably the best pairing of centre half. So those three together are just probably the best in the league, Trev. How did you see that?
Oh, look, mate. As I said when I did my vlog on the morning after the game, when I sat in that wonderful hotel room, for me it was an error from Raya, and goalkeepers make errors. I mean, the ball was coming down to Gabriel. He's come behind Gabriel and tried to clear it, and there wasn't a Wolves player near him, and it was an error from Raya. We can handle that, but we are allowed to say it was an error and that it was a weird one. But come on.
Do you think he didn't call it? He didn't shout "my ball, keeper's ball"? That's the only thing I can think of, Trev.
Yeah.
Because Gabriel is just back and he's gone, I've got this. Yeah. And as Danny says, miscommunication. And Raya comes out, and it literally was right in front of my eye line, and I just saw him flap. He just because Gabby pushed him off the ball, and he flapped his hands at it, and it just dropped. Dropped in Dozy. And fair play to the lad. I know it went down as an own goal, but I really don't think it's an own goal.
Yeah, look, we can talk about it, but we're not going to know exactly what happened because we weren't party to what went on or the discussions after. But we have to look at the outcome from that. I mean, more than one person said that the dressing room was lively after the game, which is excellent after a performance like we put in at Wolves, which was poor, to say the least. That was exactly what was needed. And I said before yesterday's game, Ferg, right? I said, after a performance like we put in at Wolves, yesterday's game was probably the best one we could have had, right? best one we could have had because the players are automatically lifted for Tottenham away, you know. And if we hadn't lifted ourselves for yesterday's game, then we knew something terrible was going on. But we put it to bed. We put it to bed. We put Wolves to bed.
Before we finish on Wolves, I don't know what it was like around where you were, but where I was surrounded by a few people, and honestly, I really don't know. These are meant to be Arsenal supporters, and I use the word supporters in inverted commas. The expletives and the names and the vitriol that some of these people were expressing towards a player and the team when they're out of possession. Then when they get into possession, they go, yeah, good lads, ones and twos. These people think they're bloody FIFA managers or whatever. Some people even commented to me saying, why do some people come to football? And I thought, well, if you get that angry when you come to football and you get that wound up, you shouldn't go. It's not good for your health. It also ruined my experience. I'm standing there like I'm a fellow who can stand up for himself, and I can tell somebody I'm not happy with him. I did when the guy started spitting in the back of my head, calling somebody a C and a D and an F and then this, that, and the other. And I pushed the guy back and said, "Leave it, just stop it. It's ridiculous." Yeah. I don't know what it's like around you, mate.
Well, you see, the thing is, Ferg, I disagree with you a little bit there in that everyone's they pay their money, they've got a right to express themselves, you know. I don't agree with that. I think it's wrong that they call players out like they do. I think that some of it is influenced from one or two people they see on social media that fly off like that. You know, that's why they're called influencers. They do have an effect on people and the way they watch the game. But you know me, I don't tell people how to do and what to do. So if they want to go there and do that, then that's their prerogative. But what I would say is, what kind of effect do you think it has on the players if they hear you?
Yeah.
Because we're called supporters for a reason, you know? We're called supporters for a reason. So, yeah, I would say I think you're taking the wrong approach if you shout and scream abuse like that. I don't think you're helping matters at all. At the very time when players need lifting because they're playing badly, you're doing the opposite and bringing them down. But you know, as I say, Ferg, at the end of the day, you have to respect that these people pay their money. And although I don't like it, you know.
No, I do totally respect that. And I totally understand everyone's entitled to an opinion. Everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. But when it's that unpleasant to make me feel that I didn't want to express my opinion watching the game. And listen, if I'm upset, I'll come along and I'll say to the players, "Oh, for Christ's sake," or "Come on, Arsenal." You know, I'm stronger than that. You know, I'm not saying I'm pussyfooting around the situation, but to be constant is just why? And you know what the great thing? I know the Spurs game is a completely different situation. It's also quite a different fan base that end up getting tickets to the Spurs game generally. But that first half hour where we were dominating the game, and we'll go into that game shortly. Around us, there wasn't all the Tottenham and the moaning. It was quite refreshing, actually. Quite refreshing.
It was a good away crowd at Tottenham yesterday. It was very good. We supported the players very well, I thought. To a man, all 3,000 people inside that away end yesterday did their job.
Yeah.
And sorry, they must have been listening to me, because after the game, they made a point of coming over, all of them, and showing their appreciation for the Arsenal fans yesterday. But what I would say to the players and the coaches, if you have a bad day and you get beat or you draw, you should still come and thank them travelling fans, especially when they've been stood in sleet, snow, rain, hail, -2 in Wolverhampton on a Wednesday night, you know?
Yeah. Let's look at the 199th North London derby in all competitions.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the 199th. Tottenham, let's take the banner down because we'll pay a bit of respect here. They put a lot of effort in, and they put a tifo up. I thought the tifo was really good. You know, it's quite right.
Embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. You couldn't read it in the stadium. You could see it on TV. But North London from 1880, whatever it was, when in reality they were in the district of Middlesex until 1965.
Yeah,
so,
they were. Hey, Ferg, look, Huggy Bear, 1996, good day from Brisbane. I love Brisbane. Been there loads of times. Great place. Love Brisbane. Love going, I think it's north of Brisbane to the Sunshine Coast. I'm not too pleased with the Gold Coast, but I love the Sunshine Coast. Had a great time in Malula Bar and Noosa and that. Particularly when we were there in 2003, and I was lucky enough to go to every game in the 2003 Rugby World Cup, including the final. Huggy Bear, I don't want to lose you as a viewer because you're very welcome, but I just can't remember who we beat in that final, mate.
Oh, you're a bitch. Listen, we went from North London to Middlesex by taxi. There's myself, Dan, Kirk, the Sam, the famous Sam now, and the General Lyle. And we got to the stadium. There's your photograph. I tried to get this photograph as well, but I missed it. The screen changed. But there's some spelling errors on this, isn't there, Trev?
There is. It's the Arsenal. If you're going to put our name up, put it up. It's the Arsenal, yeah? So, come on, Tottenham, pull your socks up. Look at what company is registered. The Arsenal.
The Arsenal. So let's talk about the lineups. There was 2 changes in the lineup, and that was Eze in for Noni and Trossard in for Martinelli. We started with Reyes, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel Hincapie, who had an amazing game, Rice, Zubamendi, Eze, Saka, Trossard, and Gyökeres, who also had an amazing game, which is great to say. Let's talk then. So 30 minutes in, we'd been dominating. We're banging on the door for that 30 minutes. There was a couple of moments that Tottenham got out of their half and maybe got towards our penalty spot, but they really didn't get anywhere close to us, did they, Trev, for that first half hour before we scored? We probably have 3 or 4 chances.
Yeah. Huggy Bear, you are on. Next time I'm in Oz, coming up Brisbane way, I'll give you a shout, mate. Promise, definitely. Yeah, it was a great start to the game, Fergan. It looked like it was only a matter of time, didn't it? I mean, we just were so dominant, so much more skillful, such a turnaround from the Wolves game. And we just looked like we wanted the ball. And more importantly, we wanted to move the ball forward a bit quicker. That was very noticeable to me. Now, when I say we could move the ball forward a bit quicker, it sounds like I'm having a little dig here, and I'm not. It's a fact. It was easy. It's easy to move the ball forward quicker against a team of Tottenham's caliber because they really aren't very good. They really aren't very good, you know. But we still had to play. When I saw the team line up, I thought to myself, yes, Eze in the middle. I'm liking that. I was hoping that Arteta wasn't going to slip us a Mickey and put Saka in the middle and move Eze out wide. But no, he stuck Eze in, and I thought that Eze from start to finish was absolutely superb, Ferg. Little flicks, moving the ball forward, looking up, looking for players in space, did everything right. Why? Do you know the goal he scored, the first goal he scored yesterday was the first shot he's had on target since he scored the hat-trick against Tottenham at our place.
I know.
It's like, wow, the bloke, something switched about him. But for me, 5 goals in 2 games against Tottenham, Eberechi Eze, statue incoming, son. That is instant legendum. That is instant legendum.
Is it now Lord Eze?
Oh, yeah, at least. At least. Absolutely. Listen, I mean, his play was superb. His play was off the scale. I was so happy for the kid because you could see he's been trying, but games have been passing him by. But someone changed his batteries and put new Duracells in him yesterday because he just didn't stop from the start. I was gutted when he went off. I was hoping he'd get his hat-trick, but yeah, wonderful performance from Eze. And the other one, Ferg, well, I mean, there was great performances all over the pitch, but the other one that really excites me now, really, really excites me, is our boy Bukayo is back to his best, mate. He was buzzing yesterday.
He was. He was. Listen, before we move on, 130 people watching, 101 on my Twitter feed and the rest on YouTube. If you can go across to YouTube and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. But also at this moment in time, what we're trying to also do is get Trevor back up to where he is. So if you can go on to Twitter, if you're not already following Trevor on at Hilsy Gunner, on X. His old, the opposite way around, was hacked by some Elon Musk loving Tesla driver. So yeah, but yeah, it was a great goal by him. And you know what the ironic thing is? Declan Rice, we'll talk about that. Declan Rice was like, right, guys, concentrate. Let's keep this.
Yeah. Then he goes the ball away.
Get down the other end.
Mohani,
but he just laughs at himself and goes, my fault.
Look, we were allowed to give Declan a mistake or two after what he's done for us since he signed. You know, wonderful kid, Declan Rice. Love it. Love him. And then, of course, Ferg, the other one of the three I wanted to, well, the four I wanted to mention. We've said that Eze was just superb, playing in that 10 role, just looked good. Saka back to his best, and
hold off on Gyökeres and the other ones yet.
Okay,
let's get through the first half, because then Gyökeres comes to his own, and we can talk about that, and then we can talk about that save and so on. So after that goal, the Spurs fans get a little bit of hope. It's 1-1, and we're thinking, oh Christ! But then we just turn on the burners again. As you said, Saka 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he was unlucky that he just couldn't get it over him. Trossard came close as well, and the pressure was intense, and there was still nothing coming from Spurs. They were just hanging on from dear life. Into the second half, and within 2 minutes, Victor Gyökeres restores the Arsenal lead with a spectacular 20-yard shot. If you want to see what 20 yards out is, this is 20 yards out, just as he's about to make contact with the ball. And oh my God, wow, what a shot.
Yeah, he struck it wonderfully, didn't he? Yeah, Christopher, yeah, that was me, mate. I went on Saturday just to get the North London derby out of my mind. The day before, I just wanted to watch a bit of football. It was an awful game, really, wasn't it, Chris? Boston, Tamworth, 0-0. But anyway, yeah, I was there, mate. Yeah, he hit it so hard, didn't he? I mean, Vicario actually got a fingertip to it, but he was never going to save it. Never going to save it. It was... I was so pleased. You could visibly see the weight lift off him, you know. Could visibly see him like grow another couple of inches, Victor. And absolutely over the moon for the lad, because he has had some stick, most of it unwarranted, I might say. We've all still got a little bit of concern, but you always do, you know. So,
well, Trev, you didn't come to the pub before the game, but there was a lot of debate among the lads, and constructive debate, but a lot of debate about Victor. Dan was talking about his first touch. Some people were talking about he looks a bit heavy. Some people were saying, you know, the difference. I think I mentioned I knew there was a difference between the Premier League and the Portuguese League, but I didn't realize the gap was that big. And people were thinking, okay, yeah, he might need another half a season or so to get into it. But he put the doubters, put that doubt away with his 2 goals today.
Oh, yesterday. Absolutely he did. And he was all over the place as well. All over the place, you know. Lovely little flick off to Eze. Eze put it through to Saka for Eze's goal, his second goal. Yeah, wonderful performance from him as well. And I'm so chuffed for him. Because, as I say, you know, he's not scored as many goals as he wanted, but he scored, I think, so many. He's right up there now. His ratio's right up there with anyone else now. And he'll be flying now. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, I really, really want the boy to be successful. And we're going to need him when we go up and win at Man City in a few weeks' time, Ferg.
In all competitions across 25-26, Victor Gyökeres has scored 15 goals for us. Martinelli, Saka on 8, Martinelli on 11, Trossard and Eze on 7, Noni on 6, Marino on 6, Zubimendi, Jesus and Magalhaes on also featuring. But there was a stat that I found really interesting, and I put it in our WhatsApp group that we've got. Ekatike at Liverpool, everyone was saying that most of the strikers are signed in the summer. It was really hard to find a proper striker. None of the strikers had really hit any sort of form, with the exception of Ekatike. But Ekatike has scored 10 goals in the Premier League for Liverpool. Guess how many goals Victor Gyökeres has now scored in the Premier League for
the same.
for us?
Yeah.
The same.
Yeah, the same. Yeah.
So it's just amazing how the media narrative and social media and the mainstream media can create an element of crap around something. It's no different than Arsenal have bottled it on Thursday morning to now that Arsenal they're flying. There's nobody can stop them on Monday morning. It's ridiculous, Trev.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But do you know what? Now I'm thinking. I mean, obviously, I'm enjoying yesterday still. Yeah, you're right that yours in black and white, they were very poor. Tottenham yesterday.
That's James. That's
James.
James.
James. Yeah. But we're going to look forward to it. Well, we will do on Friday, I dare say. But now all I've got in my head now is the next game's now massive. Chelsea at home, massive. Play like we did yesterday, and we're safe as houses. Revert to old, and we're in big trouble. But I think we're going to go all right now, Ferg. I think we're going to go all right for the rest of the season now.
There's two or three other players I want to talk, or two players I want to talk about. I know one of them is on your list, but also I want to talk about Gabriel and the disallowed goal on 53rd minute for Spurs. And there was a push on Gabby's back. You can clearly see he's getting pushed on his back there in both of those stills. You can see my kitchen wall as well. I've taken a picture of that off my telly. But
very professional, Fergus.
Yeah, very professional. Very professional. Yeah, but there is a push on him. He does go down. There's contact. It's a foul. We'd be fuming if it went against us, probably, because I think Match of the Day, who done really good coverage of the game, actually. I think Shay Given was quite balanced in his views. Murphy less so. He's just miserable and bitter and twisted. But I thought they gave a good account of it. But they did show some other examples where that similar sort of push and the goals have been allowed, but they never brought us back to Newcastle. And there was another one recently against Arsenal where Gabriel was pushed down by his shoulders, which I didn't think actually was so much of a foul. But it's happened to him before a few times, hasn't it, Trev?
Yeah. And the comments coming up on it, some people are suggesting that it was a bit soft and we got away with one. And when you look at whether they've been given or not, that if that had not been given as a foul, we couldn't have had any complaints, because there's been loads like that haven't been given this season. But thankfully it was. He did get pushed in the back, but they've just not. Sometimes they give them, sometimes they don't. It's like a 50-50. There's no consistency with them. So we got that one. We got the rubber to green. I'll take it all day long. Made no difference to the score, to the result, because we'd have won anyway. But yeah, it could be.
I wonder what it would if it went back to 2-2 and the Tottenham Stadium would have erupted again. Would there be fears of, like, I know what the commentators would be saying. Oh, Arsenal are going to wobble. My brother rang me and said to me tonight, said, "Oh, if it went back to 2-2, you would have wobbled and you could have dropped and they could have beaten you. You could have dropped some points." Do you think so?
No, never in a million years. They weren't even. Well, probably next season they won't be, but they weren't in our league, Ferg. All over the park, every position from 1 to 11, we had better players. We had better players. I mean, I watched closely this Van der Ven fella who they all rage about, and he's a bit ordinary, Ferg, to be honest. He's quick, very quick, right? But he's not much of a defender, and he gives away loads of free kicks. No, I wouldn't, and then the rest of them were just bang average, and we were just better everywhere. But we played really well. You can only play the opposition, and against poor opposition, we played really well yesterday, really well. And it could well have been 5 or 6 or even 7, Ferg. We had other chances, Yeah, I'm going to come to that next, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it was 5 or 6. I thought you were going there. That's why I brought up the photo. So
yeah.
We don't script at all.
Yeah, I thought Raya was Raya, wasn't he? 99.9% of the time he's superb. That ball actually went between his legs to start with. I thought it did, but when I watched it back today, I see it did. So for him to get up, turn around, and grab it across the line like that was absolutely superb. Absolutely.
I seriously, it was at the other end of the pitch to us, and I honestly thought it had gone in, and then I thought I saw that was. I didn't know there was just like a bundle around there, and I thought, well, they haven't blown, the net hasn't gone, and then I was looking for the referee to see if he was looking at his watch to see if a goal went in, and I thought, nothing. He's restarting the game. Happy days.
Yeah. Hey, talking about restarting the game, Ferg, how annoying were those technical issues?
That was one thing I didn't note down here. There was 5 minutes in the first half, and then at the start of the second half, there was another one. Like Simon Jordan was on TalkSport today when I was in the car. I sometimes agree with some of his stuff, not necessarily his style, but sometimes agree with him. But he came along and said, how must Howard Webb be feeling? Or Howard Webb must need to have a look at himself. If the comms aren't working, use your flag. You've got a button on it. Yeah. And if your earpiece aren't working, you can't get to VAR, just referee the bloody game. And then he mentioned, I think, maybe one of the other guys on there mentioned that they're forgetting how to referee the game. Look at that game the other night at Villa when they had no VAR and they couldn't make decisions. I think the game's been dumbed down, Trev.
Mate, I agree. Absolutely agree. I think that the Premier League referees that refereed games in the FA Cup last weekend without VAR were very ordinary. I mean, there was one particular handball, was it in the Newcastle game, that was about a yard in the penalty box, a yard in maybe, and he gave a free kick. And then he walked up to it like, you can't argue with me, I'm always right. Well, they're not. They're wrong, you know. And I thought all the Premier League referees were shown to be a bit wanting. And you could see if you had a championship referee or another level referee doing one of the FA Cup games, you hardly noticed them, Ferg. They weren't strutting around with their chest sticking out. They were doing what they're meant to do, just using the whistle to referee a game, you know? Yeah.
Mosquera. How good was Mosquera yesterday when he came on? Yeah. He was up and down the line as well, because he wasn't played as a centre half. He was played as a left back, I think. And he was up and down the line, and he was you know, I thought he was quite forceful in I can't think of the right words, but I was really impressed with him watching his performance yesterday. How did you see it?
Yeah. Hello, Mem. Thanks for commenting, mate. The officials killed our opening 10 minutes of momentum. Absolutely, they did, Mem. 100% certain they did. It absolutely killed our momentum for a bit. But anyway, we move on. I think Mosquera, we've got a proper player on our hands, you know, ever since he first came on at Liverpool, first game of the season, and we were all worried, and he just played his heart out at Liverpool. He's not going to develop as quickly as we would have liked him to, although when you see him play, he's developed. But I mean, getting more games under his belt and that, because he doesn't get enough game time, Fergie. You know, Saliba and Gabriel are our first choice centre half, so Mosquera has to pick up the scraps, but he's definitely third in line behind them two now. Mosquera, quality act, and you're right, Ferg. You could see since the first game at Liverpool when he was very good. Watch him play yesterday, and you could see he's added other dimensions to his game and what he does.
He had a bit more grit about him, didn't he? He had more grit about him, I thought.
Yeah. Very good, and good to have him to bring on to. I mean, he played on the right, you know, so great to have him to bring on. We've got no Ben White. Timber, we were worried about his stamina, so it was perfect. Yeah, I thought Mosquera was superb. When did he come on? 57 minutes. Yeah. So we had a great half hour, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, we could see the other night Wolves, Martinelli and some of the other players who were rotated at least on this game. And we mentioned before was this lack of rotation in the game at Wolves, but they did look tired physically and mentally, and the conditions wouldn't have helped. So it was good for some of those players to get minutes. That Martinelli came on for Trossard. Odegaard came on for Eze. Was it Odegaard came on for Eze?
Yeah, Odegaard coming for Eze on 77 minutes.
77, 78 minutes, yeah. So listen, all in all, a very good day at the office. That's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all from start to finish. And the beer was better in Tottenham Stadium this year. Last year it was undrinkable.
It was undrinkable, but you know what? They've got this fill up from the bottom thing, but because they can't give the they fill up from the bottom glasses out because they keep on leaking and making the floor wet. They end up pouring them into those and then pouring them into plastic glasses. And you were not getting a full pint, never getting a full pint.
Mate, I don't know who designed
not that I
floor.
needed any more full pints.
No. I don't know who designed that floor at Tottenham, but when it gets wet, it's like an ice rink.
Yeah, it
You'd have
is.
thought in this day and age they could have found some safer flooring. I nearly went over on it. And at my age, I can break my hip and that's it. It's game over, you know. Mem's comment there, Fergus, we've not mentioned him, right? In Capier as well yesterday. Oh, my Lord. Unbelievable. We've got so many good defenders. And Ronnie mentioned it just now. I'm a bit worried for Miles Lewis-Skelly because
I'm not. I think
you know,
Miles Lewis-Skelly will go into the midfield and he'll be in there to, Norgard will probably move on next season because I don't know how he's getting the game because he could have got a game against Wolves. And then maybe Miles Lewis-Skelly is the rotation with Zubimendi. That's all I can think of. Or else you could maybe rotate him into the 8 positions as well. But I think he's probably a 6 that you can bring in, or if you needed a double pivot in the 6, you could put him in there. So listen, we bumped into Dom when we're having a beer up at the end, and Dom had a little wristband on, and that wristband reminded us of what we do every time on here. Dom sadly lost a friend a few months back through suicide. And it's Andy's Man Club is the charity that we support. andysmanclub.co.uk. If you've been going through a storm or just been through one, reach out. It's Monday night tonight, 7:00 till 9:00. There's loads locally around your area. I think there's about 600 around the country. Go to andysmanclub.co.uk, pop in your postcode. There's one about 10-15 minutes away from me here. There's another one about a half hour away. Luckily, I haven't had to do that, but I know people that have and have found it absolutely fantastic use. And just remember, it is okay to talk, Trev.
Yeah, it is. And we give the same message every week. We use the same words, and I make absolutely no apology for that at all. It's very important. It's something we feel very strongly about. Things close to Fergus and myself have happened that have affected us. So we're okay, but some people aren't. So it's good to talk. Andy's Man Club or any other foundation or organization or person or friend. It's good to
just
talk.
reach out, speak to a mate. I've got a few friends over the years that have had tough times, and my phone's on. I do. And Trev, me and you, I've over various times over the years we've known each other. I've lost my mum, and my wife was going through trouble through COVID, and you've had bits and pieces, and it's just talking to somebody. It just makes it just that little bit easier.
Yeah, exactly. But I have got a bit of the hump with you now, Fergus, because after the Wolves game, I had a lovely drink after the Wolves game with our good friend John Williamson.
We did.
Ferg got himself off to bed after a couple, and I had a lovely catch up with John. He's a lovely man, so knowledgeable, wonderful to talk to.
I was talking to him. He was right behind me at the Spurs game.
But I was feeling a bit like done. So I did what Fergus asked me to do after the Wolves game. I gave him a
you
ring.
did.
And he just slung a load of abuse down the phone at me. Fergus, what kind of help is that, son?
Okay. Let's put some context to this. We've been sitting in the bar. He's been sitting in the bar all evening because he got to Wolverhampton earlier than us. He started on the red wines, and you know what he's like on the red wines. Oh, it's red wine, not red wine. And we've gone back to the bar in the hotel after the game. We had a few beers. It's come midnight. I've got to drive in the morning, and I've gone, well, I've enough. I'm going to bed. And my phone goes into sleep mode at 11 o'clock at night. But I have my favorites in there, which Hilsy happens to be in there. And if they ring enough times, it will ring. I think it takes 3 times to ring. Also, my phone rang, and I looked at my watch, and it was Hilsy. So I blanked it. And then I tried to get back to sleep, and then my head's going around going, oh, what if something's wrong with him? Oh, flipping hell. So I rang him back, and he goes, hello, Ferg. Just want to say I love you. And I went, I don't love you very much right now. I'm just trying to get to some sleep.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I only rang to say good night, Ferg. Love you, miss you. And that was what I got. A load of abuse. a load of abuse. But anyway, that's by the by. It's still good to talk, and people need to talk. Ferg, yeah, I just do you know what? I've got Sky News on in the background here, and they've just shown all the Arsenal goals again, and I'm like, I'm distracted here now, Ferg. You know what it's like? We beat that mob. It's wonderful. Wasn't it funny at the station, wasn't it? Afterwards, everyone was on the station.
We were so upset, weren't we? We were so upset.
Down. And we're all smiling and laughing, just yourself, Dan, and me. And they knew what we were doing. And then Dan decides to start filming and interviewing them and asking them why they're feeling down. Oh my Lord, how we got away with that?
I thought we were going on the railway tracks. I really did think we were going on the railway tracks, because the atmosphere after the game was a little bit feisty. You always get some little bits, but there was people who should know better in an official capacity who couldn't behave themselves and control themselves. And then I think there was skirmishes. Speaking to a friend of mine who works with mounted police, with some skirmishes around. Nothing serious, but it's not required. You know, that's the problem when it's a 4:30 kickoff on a Sunday. Like, you know, everyone's in the pub too early, Trev. You know, and that's the truth of it.
I wasn't. I had my own routine, though, didn't I? Because, you know, as everyone knows, Tottenham was my manor growing up. It was where I was born and raised. So before the North London derby at their place, I don't meet you boys, do I? You know, I'd get off at Seven Sisters and walk up the high road on my own, hands in my pockets, taking it all in. And I enjoy that. It's something I've done for years, and I will continue to do so. Fortunately, when I got in the ground, I was sober.
Show us your hands. Show us your hands. That's why they're in the pocket. It's got Arsenal all over it.
No, they can't see that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
So. Yeah, well, yeah. But, you know, I love that walk up there, especially when I think we're going to win. And, yeah, I had a thoroughly enjoyable day. And Michael in the Woodbine, you rounded it off nicely last night. Thank you for the pint. I had so much beer, I don't know. The trouble is with the Woodbine, Ferg, and I said it earlier, the Guinness is so good, you just want more. You finish a pint, you think, oh, that's too good, I'll have another one. Then I'll have another one. Then I'll have another one.
I had 7 in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I must have had at least half a dozen last night, and I'd had a load at the game. Yeah. And I had a couple in the Blackstock, and then I went up the Woodbine, and then I walked back up Blackstock Road, Christ knows what time, and got the tube, one stop, Finsbury Park to King's Cross. Yeah, and the memory's a bit of a blur since then, to be honest, mate.
And we blame this man, don't we? Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank is a silver member. I mean, wonderful, Sam. Wonderful. We've mentioned it already, Sam, but that was brilliant what he did yesterday. Thomas Frank did get lost, though, at the end of the game. So if anyone's found Thomas Frank, please look after him for us.
And so did the Declan Rice flag as well. The Declan Rice flag went as well in all of that.
Yeah, Declan Rice flag went missing. So anyone out there that hears of that, you know, if you hear or see of the Declan Rice flag anywhere, get it back to one of us, and we'll get it back to David, its rightful owner. Yeah. So
next up, Chelsea at home. Let's have a quick chat about this. It's a huge game. I think if we win this game, and as you rightly said, if we play like we did at the weekend and not like how we played midweek and we're at home, and also I would add, if the fans become the 12th man and get behind the team and not tot and moan and boo at halftime and stuff like that, if it's not going the way they want, it's a huge win if we can win this game, Trev. It's absolutely huge, because no disrespect to the other teams, with the exception of Man City, the rest of the games are extremely winnable.
Yeah. And don't forget, we've not lost at Man City for a while either. So, look, right. Chelsea are going to be a better side than Tottenham, right? Defensively, especially, right? But if we hold our bottle and still move the ball around and still play like we did in attacking phases against Tottenham, then we'll score goals against Chelsea. I'm sure of that, right? I'm sure of that. And it is a massive game. It is a massive, massive game of football that we, in my opinion, we need to win. Man City have got this habit of finishing seasons very strongly. I know a lot of people are saying they won't win every game the rest of the season. But it wouldn't surprise me if they did, and it comes down to our visit to their place, which I think we're going to get at least a point out of. I'm expecting a win at Man City. So it's important that we keep our momentum up. Now we've got a bit of momentum back. So if the Arsenal that went to Wolves turns up, we're going to struggle. With the greatest respect to Martin, I think if Eze plays in that 10 role, with Saka in the form he's in, and then Trossard on the other side, or even Madueke on the other side, however they want to play them, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right against Chelsea. But it's really important that we don't play that sideways football too much. I know it's got a place in the modern game, the sideways football. Keep the ball is what it's all about, but moving the ball forward is what scores goals, and we did it well yesterday and continue to do that against Chelsea. I'm happy. At least 2-0, Ferg.
Yeah, no, I agree. At least 2-0. Sorry. At least 2-0. But as you said, it's a fear that they do go into that sideways horseshoe football when trying to break them down. But I think Chelsea are a little bit more adventurous in the way they try to play. Spurs, for some silly reason, try to go with a 3 at the back and 2 up front. So it left them quite open. I think Chelsea have the makings of a squad that could do a lot of damage in this league in a year or so. But I think we have enough to beat them. Fofana's out, I believe, as well, due to suspension for a red card. And I think that's the 8th red card in the Premier League this season. So, the discipline, they're a young squad, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I don't care. I wouldn't, to be honest with you, I'm saying, I wouldn't know if they're a young squad or not, Ferg. Couldn't give a damn about Chelsea.
I think their average age is younger than our squad. One of them. You started this question earlier, which is interesting. Question: does anyone think City will win all the remaining games? Personally, Simon doesn't. And if we exclude the Arsenal game out of that, then
I that's what got it into my head, and that's what I mentioned. Look, City have got a habit of finishing the season really strongly, and they're winning games when they're not playing very well. I thought that Newcastle were probably the better side for all of the second half at the Etihad the other day, and didn't get anything for their troubles. And Man City hung on to win that. So they always finish strongly, Man City, and I honestly think that we need to win our games now and then go up to Man City and get something out of that game. I honestly do, and I really hope I'm wrong.
I worked it out today. I was talking to Mem, funnily enough, and I was working out we win all our games and they win all their games, with the exception of the game at the Etihad. And we drew that game. We win the league by 2 points.
Yeah,
so
we do. Yeah.
But I do think the other topic that came up was the League Cup final, and the League Cup final being in 4 weeks' time. I think that's huge. I think that will have a big bearing. It shouldn't normally, but I think will have a big bearing psychologically on the outcome of the title. Win that game, get our first pot, get some winning belief in this young side against City as well, who I don't think are the same City as they were 2 or 3 years ago. Still quality, but I think that's a huge psychological blow to our boost. Actually, boost. Let's look at it as on the positive. Huge psychological boost to us.
I don't know. I don't want to. I just want us to win the Carabao Cup simply because it's a trophy that we needed to win for a long time. I don't think that we can put any weight behind that. I'm different opinion to you, mate, to be honest. I don't think that it'll have a lot of effect on the league game up at their place. The Etihad, when we go up there, much like Tottenham yesterday, unusually the ground will be full because they come to watch the Arsenal, City won't have any empty seats. That might play on their minds because they're not used to it. Much like Tottenham yesterday, there was Arsenal fans all over the bloody
everywhere.
Did
you see that lady in the next level up partying at the end? She's giving loads at the end.
Yeah. So, I think that it's a one-off at the Etihad. It's the best team on the day, and I just got this feeling inside me that we're going to do all right up there, Ferg. I really have just got this feeling we're going to do all right up there at the Etihad. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Lyle makes a really good comment. Freddie Ljungberg scored 5 league games during the Arsenal 2002 title run-in, and that's what we need Victor Gyökeres to step up and do the same. If he scores the goals, we'll be fine. And I'm hoping that the confidence he's got from there, from the game at the weekend, will propel him on.
Do you know what, Ferg? Wait! Don't move on from that for a second, mate. I don't know if you've watched it back, but I watched it back today, and Victor's second goal. Right, he made the run and Odegaard threaded it through to him, and I thought, oh, that's exactly what we've been saying hasn't been happening. What's been missing? And as soon as the one time he gets that ball threaded through from Odegaard, he takes it on and finishes very, very nicely. So maybe it is developing. Maybe we are learning where to put the ball for Victor, and maybe he is going to score loads of goals. Let's hope that's the case. But he definitely that through ball from Odegaard hasn't been the norm. He's been making the runs and not been being found.
Well, wasn't it Thierry Henry took 8 or 9 games before he got his first goal for Arsenal, and then I think he went a bit quiet for a game or so, and then came back and then went on to where he did. But he was bought to suit our style of play that we played with Wenger. But if you look at Gyökeres, he was bought to almost fulfill the desire and the need of the Arsenal fan base. Because everyone and the media and everybody else. I'm sure the manager as well saying we needed a striker, and there wasn't many strikers out there. I think the guy will really come good, but I just there's a bit of me that thinks that he's a great striker, but maybe our team wasn't the right team for him at the time, but our team is now learning to adapt to him and integrate him into their style as well.
Look, right.
I'm not. Trevor, don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing Gyökeres.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
And I'm just, yeah.
Look, right. It's the reason we bought Gyökeres is really simple for me, really straightforward. In that Havertz and Jesus don't score enough goals, right? So we need a striker, because in the previous couple of seasons we've been chipping in from all over the park, and then when our midfielders or our wingers have had a few bad games, not bad games, but a few games where they haven't scored a goal, the goals haven't been coming from anywhere, you know. And that was, for me, that was why Victor was bought. And you're right, exactly right. There wasn't a plethora of strikers out there for sale, you know, and so we got the best one available in the eyes of whoever does the buying for our club, which is fine with me. He will score goals now. I'm sure he will score goals now, and I'm going to go back to it because it's really important, right? If you've not noticed it or watched it back, watch his second goal yesterday. Odegaard threads the ball through to him when he made his run. And we've not been doing that for Victor. We have not been doing that. And it just showed when we did it, he took a touch, moved it across himself and banged it in the far corner perfectly. So, yeah, I'm all behind Victor. I'm not. Do you know what, Ferg? From now on, I'm not having any bad talk about Victor. I'm not standing for it, Ferg. Me and you are going to fall out, son. That's it. It's all over.
It wasn't bad talk. It was more actually a criticism of the team or a challenge to the team. Gone, here you go. Here you got a striker who can score 54 goals and 55 goals in 2 respective seasons in his league. Okay, it might be a different league, but he can score goals. Here you go, team. You've got a striker. Use him. So the challenge is more on the rest of the squad rather than Victor is what I was trying to get at. So, yeah. Listen, QR code up here above me. Click on the QR code. Click on the QR code. I'm trying to get rid of
that and you keep putting it up.
I didn't touch it. I'm click this one button. God, it's like having me wife on here. Click on the QR code and that will direct you to our YouTube page. We'd love you to follow us on there. Currently, at the moment, we are transmitting on Facebook, but nobody really watches on there. YouTube and on X, on my X platform on Guns and Ribbons. But we'd love you also to go and find Hilsy Gooner, because his old Twitter profile has been hacked and taken over by some Bitcoin Tesla driving Elon Musk fan. So go to Hilsy Gooner, join him, and once we get him up to a level that he'll be able to transmit on his. But for now, if you want to watch us on X because it's easier, you'll have to follow Guns and Ribbons or go to our YouTube channel. Trevor, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed tonight.
I've shared the feed as well on my Twitter, Ferg. So
brilliant.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ferg. It was gutting that someone got on it, and two things I must stress, right? Must stress. If you get a direct message, even if it's from someone you think it is, and they're asking you to click on anything, just don't do it. Just don't. In a moment of weakness, I got caught out. And I was devastated, to be honest. So I'm having to start all over again. Thank you to the people that have already followed me. I know a lot of people have been spreading the word, you in particular, Fergus. I do appreciate that. If anyone used to follow me, come and follow me again on Hilsy Gooner, because I do write some crap on there sometimes, but it seems to entertain people. And I do try and put, especially in my vlogs, a different style of opinion, right? I mentioned earlier about influences and the way they act influencing our fans. Well, I try and have that influence in a different way, right? A level-headed one, a calm-headed one, and hopefully putting across a decent point of view. So I'd love to see it. And if I've not followed you back, just drop me a nudge and I'll follow you. I have no problem following everybody. Yeah, so just drop me a message or drop me a comment and I'll follow you back. See, Ronnie, a good friend, Ronnie Fergler, he's had 3 messages on chat today asking to vote for people. That's what they do. And they keep changing the content of the message, Ferg.
Yeah, it's similar to this one along here, something along that, hey, can you vote for me? Yes, it's along that sort of lines. As you say, the content changes, but if you see anything like that, just pick up your phone if you know the person outside of Twitter and message them and say, did you send me that? Yeah.
And set up every kind of security you can on your phone. You can do password things.
Two-factor authentication is the key.
You can only do that when you've got a blue tick, Ferg.
Okay.
I tried to do it. Thank you, Christopher. Much appreciated, mate. Much appreciated. Yeah. Ferg, I don't know how I've got through tonight. It's been a wonderful show tonight. After that North London derby win yesterday, there's no better feeling on this planet than winning at Tottenham, right? As a football fan, obviously, it's just off the scale. And it was wonderful to be there. We're lucky, Ferg. We shouldn't take it for granted that we're able to go with the millions of people that would love to go to that game that can't. So I don't take it for granted. We both scream our heads off for the Arsenal, and what a wonderful day! What a wonderful day. Ferg, is there a button?
I'm gonna press the button, and it's from the Blackstock after we won the one earlier in the year at North London Forever. Also, do follow Guns and Ribbons on X, because if you can't get Trevor, you can get me, and the shows will be transmitted on there. Yeah. I love that video. That's brilliant. I can pick out all the individual voices and know who they are. Never. That's Clarky, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Listen, I need to shout out to our audio listeners as well. There are people on Spotify and all the audio platforms as well who listen to us. We do really appreciate it. We get about 250 people a week that listen to us, and there's, I think it's Fupeso4 every week. He likes the show, and I get a message every week to say he's liked the show. So or she, thank you very much for supporting us on there.
Thank you very much. Oh, the ladies had a good win yesterday as well, Ferg. We must in the ladies FA Cup. We must mention that. I know we don't give the ladies as much coverage, but still nice to mention. Well done and congratulations.
Absolutely. Trevor, you said you're going straight to bed. I bet you're now buzzing again after thinking about the whole game all over again.
I'm going downstairs, open a bottle of red wine, carry on where I left off, mate.
Hey, I've got a beer ready. Listen, you have been watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. We really, really do appreciate your support. Enjoy the show. We'll be back again on Friday night, 7:00, although that sometimes can change, but definitely here on Mondays. Although the Monday in Germany, that's going to be a difficult one. I don't know if it is Germany. We might have to move things around. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll sort something.
Yeah,
we always do.
Up the Arsenal. Fuck Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.